drafted less than an hour ago to come and represent him, because someone else was supposed to come from Abuja, got stuck, flight issues and all of that. So here I am. So first I want to appreciate all of you, the audience, for being here. I felicitate with Afrinic really, because I was with Alan in Abu Dhabi. We had a small meeting of African representatives, the Governmental Advisory Council, to try and encourage people to attend. So I'm glad that that lunch, that impromptu lunch that you provided seems to have worked magic. So the hall is full. So welcome. Without further ado, I'll go straight and read the Honorable Minister's address. I would like to stand on the already well-established protocol to save time. I am delighted to join you today, and it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to mega city of Lagos in Nigeria for this Afrinic 27th Public Policy Meeting, which has been carefully convened to last for the next few days. It is heartwarming to see the significant progress that your community has made and the great impact that your work is making, especially on the growth, adoption, and introduction of the internet in Africa, despite the very many problems that face us as a continent. I congratulate all members of the Afrinic community for your leadership in the African internet ecosystem and your continued hard work to unite the African technical community to drive the growth of the internet in Africa. Coming to Nigeria for your meeting this time will no doubt bring all your efforts into focus, celebrate some of our modest achievements as a nation, and also motivate the players to double their efforts. I am aware that in the course of the meeting, you will have training sessions, workshops, technical presentations, and various working group discussions, including the Afrinic Government Working Group, as well as some special sessions for newcomers. Some of the issues that are important to us as a nation include, and is not limited to, the following: building a digital economy. We have embarked on a journey towards building a smart digital Nigeria as enshrined in the ICT Strategic Roadmap 2017 to 2020. This roadmap is consistent with the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of Mr. President, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We envisage a knowledge-based society where our people can consummate transactions electronically anytime and anywhere. Accessing these services will require widely available high-speed connectivity and smart technologies, which will ultimately facilitate effective time and resource management, thus improving the well-being of our citizens. The ministry, under my humble watch, has attained some major milestones in its mandate of developing the telecoms and ICT sector. 1. Nigeria's active mobile broadband penetration has increased within the space of 1 year from less than 10% in 2015 to about 20.95% in 2016 and 21.8% presently, indicating consistent growth towards our path of achieving 30% in 2018. Nigeria's internet penetration reached a milestone of 47.44%, making it Africa's highest and 10th globally. The bulk of these data subscribers are on 2G and 3G technology by the mobile telephone operators, with a good number of telecom providers now introducing 4G LTE services. It is our belief that as a nation, broadband internet access should become a right of citizens, just like water and air. Nigeria has attracted investments of over $2.2 billion in submarine cables in the last 5 years. Some of the active submarine cables in the country now include the SAT-3 SAFE cable, Glow 1 cable, ACE, Main 1, and WAX, with some others still under construction. As part of our efforts to bridge the digital gap between our various communities, government has established Universal Service Provision Fund, the USPF, which continues to help develop the underserved regions of Nigeria so that telecommunications can become available to every Nigerian citizen. We have invested in the data communication satellite and the state company, Nigerian Communication Satellite Limited, that serves both public and the private sector to help reach the very remote parts of the country. We have a national broadband plan, which is to end, the first iteration of it ends in 2018, and there's a broadband council that is currently driving the implementation of this broadband plan. Under this plan, Nigerian Communications Commission is required to license new infrastructure companies called infracos to fill the infrastructure gaps and enable broadband services on a wholesale basis across the nook and crannies of Nigeria so as to bring down the cost to end users. It is expected that all these efforts will help Nigeria transition to a digital and knowledge-based economy that gives the private sector the latitude to innovate and makes it very easy for citizens to access government services. We are pursuing this plan with earnest and will be glad to learn from your experiences at the end of this meeting. Government is aware of the difficulties faced by Nigerians in transacting businesses online. IP addresses that are traceable to Nigerians or Nigeria are sometimes restricted or outrightly blocked by major e-commerce sites. We are aware of the negative activities of some users, so government has taken keen interest in cybersecurity with all seriousness. The Nigerian government has since enacted the Cybercrime Act and leaves no hiding place for online criminals. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has been very active in bringing many criminals to justice in this regard. I'm pleased to inform you that we are consistently improving our information systems security to increase the confidence of Nigerians and foreigners who want to do business with Nigeria online. With the abundance of talent in Nigeria, the global community stands to benefit from our skills and our abundant market size. It is indeed a new Nigeria. With the ever-increasing number of new devices being connected to the internet every day, there is need for more addresses than what is currently available on the IPv4, which is the primary communication protocol that the internet depends on. I have been reliably informed that the IPv6 has been designed as an evolutionary upgrade to the internet protocol and will open a pool of internet addresses, which is multiple times larger than the current pool of the IPv4, which is about 4.3 billion. This means that the total number of possible IPv6 addresses is virtually inexhaustible in the foreseeable future. We recognize the fact that the uptake is still low in Nigeria, and there is a need to step up awareness of and capacity building in this regard. The Ministry of Communication supports initiatives that improve the accessibility of services and encourages the use of equipment and services that will be compliant with the IPv6. Government has established the National IPv6 Council to provide leadership and strategic planning for IPv6 implementation in Nigeria. The Internet Exchange Point of Nigeria announced a few months ago that it has successfully migrated its network to the IPv6. Nigeria needs IPv6 to get our huge population online. We need it urgently as we embrace advancements such as our smart city initiatives. IPv6 is the future of network globally and a key communication enabler for building an Internet of Things. I want to charge Afrinic, NIRA, and all other relevant organizations to step up their awareness and advocacy campaigns to ensure that ISPs, telecommunication operators, banks, and educational institutions, among others, migrate to IPv6. There should be more awareness and capacity building through organizing seminars and training, incorporating IPv6 into our tertiary education curriculum if necessary. Government will provide some profit incentives to the internet industry to encourage them to deploy IPv6-based infrastructure. We recognize the fact that the internet governance includes more than internet naming and addressing. It also includes other significant public policy issues such as critical internet resources, the stability, security, safety, and continuity of the internet, and the developmental aspects and issues pertaining to the use of the internet. Definitely, developing these policies will require wide public consultations with all stakeholders. I am pleased that you will do a lot of this in the course of the next few days. We acknowledge as a nation the bottom-up multi-stakeholder consensus-based principles on which your community operates. And we did not hesitate as a nation to set up and give NIRA, the Nigerian Internet Registry Association, the necessary support to operate with the same guiding principles to manage the nation's top-level domain, the .ng. I've been made to understand that NIRA will continue in its effort to engage the industry in this same multi-stakeholder approach to develop plans and include forward-looking capacity building efforts, awareness programs, and access assessment of relevant technologies all around its mandate. As a multicultural and deeply religious nation, we have moral responsibility to protect our culture, youths, and other vulnerable groups on the internet. We take the issue of child online safety very important, and will continue to do all that is necessary to ensure that our youth are engaged in the right direction without being exploited or experiencing cyberbullying. It is important that we use the internet as a tool to drive the education of our people and assure their socio-economic advancement in an inclusive manner. The task of improving the lives of the vulnerable and the underprivileged is not for the government alone, it is for all of you stakeholders. The internet is no doubt critical to education, health, agriculture, and many other sectors of our economy. I have no doubt we are making some progress, though some may consider it a bit slow. We cannot but embrace the 21st century. IP concept to learn and impact our generation as we move along. Many still don't have access to the internet. When people get connected, they can achieve a lot of extraordinary things, and we have several examples among those that we've seen already. We will continue to encourage public and stakeholder engagements that will facilitate the growth and adoption of the internet as a tool for enhancing the quality of life of our citizens. We welcome positive ideas and will bring development and growth to Nigeria through ICTs. At the just concluded 5th meeting of the National Council on Communication Technology, which held in Katsina State, NICTA and NERA co-presented a memo on the effective and efficient utilization of Nigeria's country code top-level domain, .ng, at both public and private sectors. The Council unanimously endorsed the memo and encouraged that all public sector corporates and all non-corporate entities in Nigeria must embrace the local content guidelines and initiatives of government by conducting their official businesses through the .ng platform. In conclusion,